If you're somebody who's running a business, any type of business, online coaching, agency, any service-based business, etc., I want to show you how to turn on autopilot in your business following these four simple steps or principles. Okay, and most people start a business so they can have the three freedoms: time freedom, location freedom, and financial freedom. But they end up enslaved to their own business, which is not the reason why you started a business in the first place. Most people have a get shit done mentality. They think that hard work equals more money, more working more hours equals more money, never taking time off equals more money. But that's not true. Okay? And let me put this into perspective for you. So I recently read a book called Buy Back Your Time, and a lot of the principles in this video is actually based from this book. I highly recommend you read it by Dan Martell. But basically, in this book, Dan Martell tells the story of a guy named Adam versus a guy named Richard Branson, who you probably know. Richard Branson is, has multiple billions of dollars, manages, I think, like he has a private equity firm, manages hundreds of companies. And this guy Adam, I think he's just like a normal online coach, maybe making six figures, maybe seven figures a year. And essentially, Adam is 10 times more stressed than Richard Branson. And the author of this book, Dan Martell, he actually got to meet both of these people. He went on like a vacation trip with Richard Branson, and he explains when he goes on this vacation trip with Richard Branson, all Richard Branson does is he has a meeting with his assistant in the morning, tells his assistant what needs to get done, and his assistant kind of already has an idea of his systems and processes. And for the rest of the day, Richard Branson just enjoys his vacation, goes skiing, doesn't have to worry about any sort of emails or any sort of anything that's happening in his company. While Adam, on the other hand, is stressing every single day about every single little thing in his one little coaching business. So Adam, who's running one little coaching business, making 6 to 7 figures a year, is essentially 10 times more stressed than Richard Branson, who's managing hundreds of companies, making multiple billions of dollars, within a couple years. And so this kind of shows that it's not about who's working the hardest. Okay, working harder, working more does not equal more money. Okay, and so you want to work smarter, not harder. But there is a catch. In business, there's levels. Okay, so when you first start your business, when you start from zero, you're at level one. And so at level one, if you want to work smart, you have to work hard in the beginning. So to basically unlock the ability to work smarter instead of having to work harder, you have to work harder because in the beginning you don't have much leverage. Okay, and volume negates luck. So in the beginning, you always have to do more with brute force if you don't have any other resources. And so once you make it through the painful beginning stages, super fucking painful, at least for me it was. Once you make it past those painful beginning stages, you can start worrying about working smarter. Okay, but first you have to work harder and then work smarter. Okay, and then once you unlock leverage, you know, leverage, if you don't know what leverage is, it's basically getting more, getting a bigger output for your input. So even if you put in a little bit of effort, you want as big as an output as possible. And so, um, to do that, once you unlock leverage, then that's when you start worrying about, working smarter and not harder. And so to run your business on autopilot, there's basically four pillars, okay? And the first pillar is systemization. And so you want your business to operate like a conveyor belt. You know how in a factory, how literally there's the product going through the conveyor belt. One machine does one thing, moves on to the next machine. It's all running like a well-oiled machine. And you want your business to be exactly that. Okay. And the way you do this is by documenting every single process in your business. And so when you bring on new people, they can take over with minimal effort from you. Okay. And so the way you systemize things is by documenting things. And so you want to make sure that every single process in your business is documented, everything. And so even if you're in the early stages of your business, trust me, this will pay off such big time. You want to document every single thing, even if it's just you right now, because uh, if you get big, then you're gonna have to go back and spend time on documenting things. But if you do it in the beginning right away, then you won't have to worry about going back and documenting those things again. Okay? And so documenting things, basically all that means is you create SOPs, standard operating procedures, aka playbooks. And all a SOP is, I know it sounds big and fancy, but all it is a check, basically a way you describe how to do a specific process or thing in your business, and you present a checklist on the things that need to get done. And so, how do you build these playbooks? Well, you follow the 4 C's method. Okay. And so what does the 4 C's method include? Well, you include a training video, which is the camera. Then you include steps involved in the process, which is a course. And then you'll involve how often should these tasks be completed, which is a cadence. You won't always include a cadence, but if there's a specific cadence to these tasks, then you want to include that. And then you want to include a checklist, which is just high level items that must be completed every time. And you don't want to be super specific with the details in this checklist because you want to be hiring competent people. And if you hire competent people, then you don't always have to include every single little detail. They should already know what needs to be done, even with vague instructions. And so this is an example of a playbook or an SOP in my business, and this is how we do content research. And as you can see, under the title, I have a linked training video, and so they simply click on that link. It just takes them to a video, literally just a Loom video, nothing fancy, literally just like this, a screen recording of me walking them through this checklist and explaining each step and how to do it. And then under that, you'll see I have the actual checklist. And so basically just things we need to find, proven content ideas, best times to post, keywords for captions, summaries, hashtags. And then under that, I have, the training or the course part on how to do it. Um, the training or course part that I included, as you can see, I did include specific instructions on how to do it, but the only reason why I did that is because this is more so of like a training SOP. But like a daily SOP, you just include checklists on what they should get done. Okay, and so this way you're basically systematizing your business, and you're just handing processes, and you're handing things off to other people in your business with minimal effort from you. Okay. And so, like I said, document everything as early as possible. Even things that you aren't sure if you're going to need a document, make sure you document them. It's always better to be over prepared than under prepared. And so that was the first pillar. Now, the second pillar is productization. Okay, productizing your product. And so, what does that mean? Well, productization is the process of developing or adapting a service, process, or technology into a standardized package and marketable product. And so, all this means is, so for example, many people who do some sort of coaching or mentoring program, they turn some aspects, or even they'll turn the whole thing into a course or program. Now you want to make sure that you don't make a mistake of just turning your coaching program into an entire course and just selling a course, because obviously a coaching program, that's supposed to be personalized to the person. That's what makes it appealing. That's what makes it stand out. While a course, especially in 2024, um, there's so many people selling courses and information that the barrier of getting information is not high at all. And so the way I recommend doing it is that you you automate the evergreen information. So if you're running a coaching program, I would highly recommend you make the evergreen information that you're coaching people on into a course, and then you still have that personalized aspect of one-on-one coaching, or your program or mentorship, whatever you're doing, as a live leverage thing between you and the people. And so that's how I'd go about that. As you can see here in my program, I've basically turned the evergreen aspects of creating content into a course. So like, optimizing your profile, creating hooks. And then from here, people go through this, they watch it, so they have a good foundation and knowledge of how to create content. And from there, we build on top of it with, the personalized mentorship and, the coaching. And so, the thing with creating videos is that it's extremely leveraged. You create it once and it works for you forever. There's literally nothing more leveraged, or not many things more leveraged, than creating videos and content. And this is why courses are so insanely OP, well, at least they used to be when it wasn't super saturated, because people just record videos once and they can replicate it without any marginal cost, and they'll just print infinite money with literally no effort other than the effort that they had to put in to create it. And so, you can easily automate parts of your program or service by productizing it. And so, what are all the ways to productizing your program or service? The first one is packaging your services. So, if your service is kind of all over the place, this is like kind of like the first entry level to productizing your service. You want to basically document your service and package it in a way that's more marketable. That can depend on whether you're a coach, an agency, etc. Second one is automating with technology, and this is just a general rule of thumb. Whenever it comes to automating anything, you typically want to try to automate it first with technology before automating with humans, especially with this breakthrough technology of AI that just recently exploded. Humans, a lot of errors and mistakes come with humans, and so if you can automate with technology, please do that. It's going to save you a lot of time and headache. I kind of sound like I hate humans and humanity, but trust me, you either adapt or die when big trends and big, crazy things like AI get presented in front of you. The third way is automating with content. So like I said, creating a course, productizing your service by, creating a course or having content in it. So you don't have to repeat the same information over and over again. You can just record it once and make everybody go through it and watch it. And the fourth way is with things like tools, templates, resources, etc. This can kind of go with packaging your services. But like I said, creating leverage things that you have to create once and then, never create them again. This is all different ways of productizing your service. And trust me, take a look at your service right now, whatever you're selling, and just think to yourself, what can I productize, or even better, what can I automate? What can I put in a little effort right now so I never have to repeat this information or, repeat this action ever again? Okay, without decreasing the quality of the service, of course. So that was the second pillar. Now the third pillar is hiring. Okay, and you're probably like, okay, hiring, that's kind of the obvious one. Everyone knows you need to hire, but I'm gonna walk you through a different framework, a mental model of thinking about of your approach to hiring and how you should think about it. And like I said, I got this from the book Buy Back Your Time. Highly recommend the book. But when it comes to hiring, when you hire somebody, you're essentially buying back your time. Okay, and so this is the buyback loop. Okay, and this is a framework to follow whenever you want to hire somebody. So many people encounter the problem, oh, I don't know who to hire next, or I don't know what to outsource. The next time you ask yourself, or the next time you want to hire somebody, go through this process step by step, and I promise you, you're not gonna regret it. You're gonna make a much more informed and better decision. And so the first step is to audit your time. Basically, take a look at what you're spending what's taking up your time, and what makes you the most, and list it out from what makes you the least money to what makes you the most money. Okay, and then from there, you want to transfer those tasks to somebody who's better at them, otherwise known as hire somebody to do those tasks for you. Third one is fill your time with higher value tasks that make you more money. And the fourth step is repeat the cycle. So let me repeat this real quick. Audit your time. Take a look at what's making you the most money and what's not making you money at all. The second step is transfer the task that's making you the least money to somebody who's better at them. Okay. The third step is fill your time with higher value tasks that make you more money, and then you repeat the cycle. So what you're doing is you're constantly filtering out the tasks that make you no money but consume the most time. And what ends up happening is you're starting to fill your time with more and more tasks that make you more and more money. And so as you go up the ladder, you're outsourcing tasks that make you more and more money to people. And so in return, your time is going to be focused on money, on revenue generating. Basically, your time's going to be spent on things that drive revenue. Okay. And so you basically want to repeat the cycle, and you're just going to keep going up the ladder. And so, but the thing is, to be able to execute the buyback loop, you have to know how much your time is worth. Okay. And so when you calculate how much your time is worth, you will know whether the hire you're making is a good one or not. And this is also known as your buyback rate. And so this is the formula for calculating how much your time is worth. Essentially, you want to take your income, so how much you made the entire year, divide that by 2,000 hours, because that's how many hours are in a normal working year. And basically, that's how much your time is worth. And so as a rule of thumb, you should be able to outsource for 1/4 of how much your time is worth. And here's an example. So, or actually, no, this is just another formula. So basically, it's the same formula. So your income divided by 2,000 hours divided by 4, that's your buyback rate. Okay, because you want to outsource, generally, as a rule of thumb, you want to be able to outsource for 1/4 of how much your time is worth. Okay, or if you want, you can just divide it. If you're good at math, you'd probably realize that you can just divide it by 8,000 instead of doing divided by 2,000, then divided by 4, if you want to simplify the steps. Or you can just do like this. So yeah, your income, how much you made this year, divided by 2,000 hours, which is the amount of hours in a normal work year, divided by 4, which is because you want to be hiring for 1/4 of how much each hour is worth to you, and that's your buyback rate. And so, for example, if I make $1 million a year, then you and so, for example, if I make $1 million a year, then you make $500 an hour. Therefore, your buyback rate is $125 an hour. Okay. And so you calculate your buyback rate and get to work. Okay, do this right now. This is literally an actionable step that you can pause this video and do right now. So that was the third pillar. Now the fourth and last pillar is automation. Okay. And so I already talked a bit about automation, but if you want to free yourself from your business, you need to make sure that it can scale without you. Okay. and you want to remove yourself out of your business if you want to basically have your business running on autopilot. And to do this, you need to automate certain aspects of your business, like onboarding. If you don't have a scalable onboarding system that's completely automated, then you're never going to be able to scale, because the more clients you get, the more time it's going to take to onboard them. It's just going to break. So like I said, if you're still manually onboarding every person, your business will never scale without breaking. And so, you want to, what I'd recommend is go online and find, there's probably a bunch of YouTube videos, but find a Zapier walkthrough of how people do their onboarding workflow and just set it up. Trust me, it's gonna, like I said, it's leverage. You create it once and it just works for you forever. So you need to set up some sort of automation or flow for every aspect that can be automated. So for example, onboarding sequences, you want to have that set up, email sequences, SMS sequences, like all these things, you want to make sure that you have automations running in place. And like I said, AI is going to make it 10 times more crazier. And the thing with AI is that AI is going to be, you know, beforehand, if you wanted, you had a choice to make. You can either choose automation or personalization. So for example, if I was doing outreach, I had to either choose if I was going to send a bunch of evergreen messages to 10,000 people or send personalized messages to 100 people. Okay. And the way it works is if you have more leads, you want to go the evergreen approach, or if you have less leads, you want to go to personalized approach, because you want to be making the most out of every lead. With AI, you're going to be able to do both at the same time. So I already know there's a tool being created where you can send personalized Loom videos. You can automate personalized Loom videos. And so, it's only going to get easier and easier with AI. So you want to hop on this before, so many people start doing it, and then people will realize that your personalization isn't even genuine. And so that's that. And as the founder, like I said, you should only focus on high leverage activities that will drive revenue. And so those are the four pillars. So systemization, productization, hiring, and automation. If you focus on these four pillars, I promise you, these four pillars are simple, but they're not easy. Okay. And so with time and with failure, as you fail, you're going to learn lessons, and hopefully you learn from your lesson and you don't make the same mistake twice. You're just going to keep getting better and better. And if you apply these principles, then you will be able to remove yourself from your business as the founder. So I hope you got value out of this video. If you did, please leave a subscribe. It means the world to me, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.